Hello ladies and gents, so we've already got confirmation that essentially Morbius first reactions are shitting the bed. They're awful. But wait, do you want to hear just how bad Sony has gone around making this film? You just want to listen to the director. Boy howdy. Boy, oh boy howdy, is he spouting some absolute nonsense. And I mean serious nonsense. And it goes to show that they have no idea what they're talking about over at Sony with Marvel, the connection, how they're going to do things moving forward. They've got no idea at all. And what it says to me is that all these delays, the pushback, apparently people being told, yeah, maybe we're going to be in the MCU, maybe we're not. They just don't know. They've got literally no idea at all. And it just goes to show just how far removed they are from sanity. So check this out. Like Vulture. Right, Vulture is the exact same one from the MCU. Now, that doesn't make any sense. We'll get to what he says and how he explains it, but it doesn't make any sense. Venom popped into that because Morbius knows about Venom. The people in that universe know about Venom. So what universe is it? Because there was also Sam Raimi's Spider-Man in there on the wall. But Apparently it is. Apparently it is. So let's dive into this. There's a few bits and pieces about this. But again, it's just utter garbage. So the living vampire and Matt Smith's Milo will not be the only villains in Morbius. The film also features Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture, played by Michael Keaton, right? Now, he first portrayed the character in Spider-Man Homecoming. Many were surprised to see Toomes in Morbius' teaser trailer, and fans began to speculate about how the villain made his way into the Venom universe, because it has to be the Venom universe, right? Right? Like, it has to be the Venom universe. I mean, it has to be. How else is he there when Morbius knows about Venom, and Venom was only in the MCU universe for like a few moments? And the events that were happening in his universe didn't happen in the MCU at all. So how, pray tell? Oh, interesting stuff. Now, we figured things would be cleared up with the release of SpiderMan No Way Home, which saw multiple characters from different universes transported in the MCU, including Venom. However, every misplaced individual, aside from a small symbiotic piece, seemingly returned to their respective realities at the end of the film, making Toomes' appearance in Morbius all the more weird. With the existence of the multiverse, though, it was assumed that the character was simply a variant. But it's not. It's the exact same one. Now we know that's not the case. The Vulture in Michael Morbius' standalone adventure is the Adrian Toomes we met in Homecoming. Morbius director Daniel Espinosa gave an interview to Cinema Blend where he was asked if Vulture was the same one introduced in the MCU, to which he replied yes. Now, if that was just it, you'd go, oh, okay, maybe he misunderstands. No. When asked how that was possible, Espinosa stated that the possibility of characters travelling to universes that weren't their own, and staying there, was established in No Way Home. No, it wasn't. So that video where I did on the first reactions, where everyone was saying it's awful, yeah, this about sums that up. No, there's been no established... The problem, because loads of people will be like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter, it's just a comic book movie. But you have to stick with the internal logic of the universe that's established. Otherwise, Spider-Man might as well grow a pig snout and spider's legs. Why not? Who cares? You know, like there has to be some internal logic of the universe for it to be believable in any way, shape or form. But not only that, Espinosa's making no sense anyway. There was no establishment for this in Spider-Man No Way Home at all. Now he says this. At the end of Venom Let There Be Carnage and Spider-Man No Way Home, and in No Way Home itself, it is clearly established that it is possible for characters to transfer from one multiverse to another. It is, but the events of No Way Home solidified that entire situation null and void. Because that was the great, I guess, sacrifice that Tom Holland's Spider-Man went through. Because it is a sacrifice. He sacrificed all of his friends. to put things back to normal. The events of No Way Home had the effect of transferring Venom and Vulture, and maybe others, back and forth between the MCU and the Venom universe. No, it didn't. No, it actually didn't at all. That doesn't make any sense. He's talking absolute bollocks. But it also just goes to show what an absolute shit show this film is actually going to be. And he says, he just keeps talking more nonsense. So here we this is like, did he even watch SpiderMan No Way Home? Like, come on. Most people watched it. It made loads of money. You surely should have watched it, right? So we're only a couple of days before Sony Pictures' latest Marvel Comics adaptation arrives in theatres, which, by the way, ladies and gents, the embargo is literally up until the day's release. Terrible sign. But Daniel Espinosa has been doing the rounds to promote the Living Vampire's big screen debut. Talking to comicbook.com, the filmmaker revealed whether Spider-Man No Way Home was partly to blame for the decision to delay Morbius. It was once set to be released before the threequel. Yes and no, Espinosa admitted. You know, because the idea of the kind of parallel universes was really introduced, not into the kind of Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it was introduced within cinema, if you'd call it, in Spider-Verse, which was released by Sony and produced by Avi Arad, who also produced Morbius. Okay. That's got nothing to do with introducing... That doesn't answer the question. The concept of starting to work with parallel kind of verses was something that existed prior to the Spider-Man movie. It's almost like he's been told by Avi Arad to basically suck his D in interviews. And it's also been something that has existed for years in comic books. Yeah, you're right. You know, us who read comic books, we knew about it for like 15 or 20 years. I doubt you've read comic books. As soon as the kind of clone era died with Spider-Man, the verses took a hold. But when Spider-Man came, there was certain kind of visual elements of how those kind of transitions looked like that were informative. I mean, that doesn't answer anything. That doesn't answer anything. Anyway, Morbius is a shit show. It's going to be terrible. It was so funny because I did the first reactions video, and loads of people were like, people normally, they're always wrong. Yeah, honestly, I want you to like this film. I want you to like this film. There's not a film that I have looked at the trailers for, the information for, and agreed preemptively with the first reactions more so than I have Morbius. And what I mean by agreeing at the very least is going, yeah, well, of course that's probably going to be the case. Now, I will still review this with an open mind, but Venom Let There Be Carnage was trash. This is going to be trash. It doesn't make any sense what they're saying. It doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, cheers guys. Take care.